Did you know you can get a job in NHS Scotland and live in the UK for 5 years with full sponsorship? I will show you exactly how to do it step by step right on my screen, and you can start applying immediately. Stick to the end to get the full gist. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Evelyn, and on this channel I share tips on productivity, personal growth, and navigating life as an immigrant. You are so welcome. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad you found this space. Consider sticking around and you would enjoy yourself. I know that many people think getting a healthcare job in the UK is impossible, but trust me, it's very doable. Some even assume that they are not going to get it or they won't qualify. No, you're wrong. If you know where to look and how to apply properly, you're going to get it. I will show you on my screen. Many NHS jobs are open to international applicants every year. The UK has shortage of healthcare workers, which means they're actively looking for people from abroad and within to come and work in the UK. So many people have moved to Scotland through NHS sponsorship. So if they can, you can too. And now, before we jump on the screen, why have you not subscribed to my channel, sister and brother? Please subscribe. Subscribe, click that button, click it. It's not hard. Subscribe to my channel, please. And now I will take you to Evelyn on the screen to show you how it is done. So on your phone or your computer, go to careers.nhs.scot, and on the home page you see make a difference with the career in the NHS. If you want to, you can explore the careers, or if you're just going straight to the point, you come down to international recruitment and you click on join us now. On here you will see the NHS is the largest employer in Scotland, and international recruitment plays an important role in our workforce strategy and all this good stuff. Scroll all the way down where you would see all the professions that they consider. So nursing and midwifery, allied health professional, and the rest of them. And if you're a student in a related field, you click on this. Maybe you're in Scotland and you're currently in one of the schools studying an eligible course. Click here, you will see all the information you need before you apply. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to nursing and midwifery. And then when you come here, if you like, you can just go straight to view vacancies, but I would advise that you go through this page all the way to the end. Working in nursing and midwifery for NHS Scotland, start your journey today. And then they give you a little bit of information here, what being a nurse and midwife in Scotland is about. You read up, look at your eligibility. They will need a CV with details of all your experience, employment history, training and qualification. All of them, please read up to see what they need. Find out more on NMC test on here. That's the link. Scroll all the way down and then they'll tell you what NHS Scotland has to offer you. Funded English language tests, help with applying and paying for your visa, support with applying and paying for your NMC eligibility and qualification application. There's loads and loads of them. Go through it. And they also say all boards offer the same great benefits to the NHS Scotland staff, including all of these packages, generous annual leave, and all of the good stuff here. Then you come to eligibility and application process. Please read through, click on any link you need to click on to take you to get more information. Down here you'll see 6 steps to becoming a nurse and midwife in Scotland, starting from the interview process, pre-journey, NMC, CBT, certificate of sponsorship, visa and arrive in Scotland, and OSCE and PIN. All of the steps are here. All of the information is here. Please click through and read so that you have first-hand knowledge for yourself of what it requires. Then you go all the way down and click on view vacancies. Here it takes you to like all the list of vacancies across NHS Scotland. So this is not in a particular city. Now, to filter what is applicable to you, I will ask you to use this filter here. This filter your search. So for a nurse, nurses are usually band 5. So you go to me, I go to a salary and click on band 5. and then I come to the region, no, NHS employer, NHS board. You can either use regions or NHS board. For me, it's easier for me to use NHS board, so I just come here and apply, say, Greater Glasgow and Clyde, apply filters. This would not only give you like a whole of the all of the vacancies that are related to nursing. You also see other band 5 roles that you might be eligible for. So if you're just strictly for nursing, you can type here nurse, and then you click apply, so that only the nurse one will come out and not other band 5 roles. Okay, for the purpose of this application, you can see there are so many jobs here for nurses. For the purpose of this application, I'm going to use a band 3 application. Now, it is important to note that NHS Scotland will only sponsor international applicants from band 5s up. Band 5 is nurses. So if you're already in the UK, you can be sponsored at the band 3 level. So that is where I'm going now. So sponsorship for international applicants is band 5 and up, please. So I'll go to the NHS board and choose the board that I'm interested in. NHS Tayside for this purpose of this video, and then filter. Then we've got all the band 3s here, all the band 3s. It can be administration and otherwise, so you just choose what applies to you. If it's too much for you, just type maybe support worker or healthcare assistant, but those can be limiting, so I just rather stick with this. And then, so now important thing to note here is make sure the salary is band 3 for the job you want to apply. Also make sure it is permanent. There are some roles that are fixed term. Fixed term can be a year or 2-year contract, and there is no guarantee that after that 1 or 2-year contract it will be renewed. It's not like they are not going to sponsor you. You would be sponsored, but there is no guarantee, so you are better off sticking to a permanent role. And then also make sure that the hours are 37 hours, or it's going to reduce from in April to about 36.5 or 36. I'm not very sure of that figure. So whatever you're looking at, make sure the hours are above 35 hours. That is the only hours they can sponsor you to work in the UK. So like you see on this one by my right or left, whatever you're watching from, so this is like 10 hours. So you don't just click apply because there's a job. Make sure you check the hours and the employment type and all of that. So when you find what you like, you can just click on these love signs. This is like your favorite ones. You save them, but I'm just going straight to apply. I'll click on more. Then when you come in here, you would see some information on what you need. Exciting opportunity for band 3 healthcare assistant to join our team within the above area. They'll tell you what the area is about, the specification they need from the candidate, what they need from you, and then they also tell you a bit of other things about the NHS board you're applying for. A lot of things. Just read through your qualification, what you need. However, I always advise candidates to come down here to supporting documents. This is very important. Click on the job description. It's just going to download, so I'm not doing that now. Click on the job description. It gives you an idea of what you will be doing when you are employed by the NHS board, so you know if it's something you can do or not. And it also helps you in writing your personal statement. Then person specification. Sorry about that. You come to person specification and click on it as well. This is like, in fact, the most important one here, because it shapes everything you write about your personal statement. If your personal statement does not contain most of the things that are here, then in fact, I will just download one and show you. All right. So this is like a downloaded one. You see experience, essential ones, the desirable ones, and the method of evaluation. how they evaluate this your write-up, method of evaluating these whole things here is through your application form. That is why I told you you have to go through this person's specification so that you'll be able to form your personal statement properly. So how they would know that you have the experience they desire or the essential experience is through your application form. You come to the qualification, training, research, and publications. All of this should be shown on your application form. You come down to knowledge and skills. It should be on your application form, and they will also test this knowledge on your interview. So not looking through person specification is going to do you a lot of harm. Then you come down, yes, personal qualities here. This is more like an expo to everything you need. So they make it easy for you. Go through all of this, and these personal qualities are going to be assessed on your interview, right? It's here. Everything you need is here. Then ability to travel between sites if required to support this service. They will get to know during the interview. You don't necessarily have to put the ones that says interview on your personal statement. If you have the space, by all means, please include them. So I'm going straight to sign in. Now, if you have an account with NHS Scotland, you just go straight to sign in, your email and your password. If you don't have a prior account, please go down here and create account. But I already have an account, so I will not be able to create another one. However, it is a straightforward process. It just requires your name and your email, and you go forward from there. Personal details, your address, phone number. Very, 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 very easy. So I'm not going there, but it's going to be all right. Okay, so I'll sign in now, and then we'll start from there. So after you sign in, they will show you this. If you have previous applications, you're better off just clicking on yes, show me previous applications, so that you don't have to put your personal details, your job history, education, everything afresh. You just take all the information from a previous job you've applied for. Or if you've never applied before, just click no, just get started. I'm going to get previous application. And then it shows you all of these applications you've already submitted, and then they will ask you to choose from one of them. So I'm just going to choose for this one. And on here, you see copy from this application. So I'll do just that now. So on this page, you see all of the information will not unfairly discriminate against you, every other thing. This section, the first section is personal details, your surname, your name, your address, your phone number, your email. Please use a valid email that you're actively checking. And then we'll move to the next section. It's a very straightforward form. Then other details, they'll ask you here if you're a UK or Republic of Ireland national, or if you have EU or EEA or SWIFT, any of these, if you are in any of these categories. So you click yes or no as it applies to you. If it's yes, you have to select your proof of identity. They have passport and the rest of the things. If no, then you have to confirm your right to work in the UK. If you've got a graduate visa or whatever, there's a lot of them here, health and care worker visa, plenty of them. Whatever applies to you, you click on it. However, if you're an international applicant and your visa is pending, please click on this one. Click on this skilled worker visa application pending, or you ask your informal contact on the job listing what you should do. Then you put your expiry date of your visa or whatever. On this side, you're being asked, where did you hear about this vacancy? I heard about it on the NHS website, NHS Scotland website. And then if others specify, then down here you have membership of professional or regulatory bodies. For a nurse, definitely you have to hold a membership of a professional body, so please include it here. If not, for healthcare assistance, it's not really mandatory. But if you have an a triple SC account, please include here. Or if you're a member of any other regulatory body, please say yes and include all of them with the registration number and renewal date. Additional information or memberships, if that space is not enough, you add here. Then if you have a driving license, you write it here. If the job requires a driving license and you don't have a driving license, please do not apply because you will not be considered. But if you do, you click on yes, and then you specify your type of license here and the category. After that is just the education section. So just use your input your if education here. If you've got a master's degree, BSc, whatever, there is spaces to add as much as you can. There's also space to add additional qualification. After that is going to be your job history, all right, employment history. So include as much as and include as much as possible. When you're done, there's always space to add more. So if you've had 10 job history, but I would say just put the relevant ones, the ones that you know that are relevant to this application. It doesn't have to be many years back. And if there is any gap in your employment history, please, you have to state why there was a gap in your employment history. You just write it here. An instance of job history is if you worked maybe as a commercial assistant or nursing assistant or a trainee elsewhere, please put it here. Then you come down here, your employer, all of the ones that are asterisked in red are mandatory. Then your role and the purpose of your summary of responsibilities at that place of work. And if this is your current or most recent role, you have to include the notice period. Salary is optional, and then the reason for leaving your job right now, if it's a new job or whatever else, you put it here. If you currently still work here, please just write I currently work here. Just click on this. If not, just move on and keep adding until you get to the one that is your current post. Then you click continue. Continue. After all of that is references. You have your referee number one should be your current or most recent line manager. You put in their names, their emails, telephone number. The most important one is the email, and then you click to say if they are your most recent line managers. They will ask you if the person you've just written is your most recent line manager. Please just say yes or no. And if it's no, you have to keep going until you get to your most recent line manager. After that, we get to where you have the application questions. This is a very crucial part of this whole application, and you have to pay attention to this. So they ask you, why do you think you're suitable for this role? Describe how your skills, knowledge, and experience match the person's specification. Why do I find it difficult to call that thing? Match the person's specification while also explaining your motivation and goals. So now you see where that person's specification comes in again. You have to download that document, go through it, and also match it with your experience, match it with your motivation and your goals. This is question 1. And then usually I would just type it out in the Microsoft Word and copy it down here. Because if you don't do that, then you have a 20 minutes to click and save before this page times out. So if you're unable to write it, the page times out and it won't save your work. You will now have to start afresh. So always just use Microsoft Word and type your stuff before you even start the application. Then they'll ask you here, why do you want to work for the NHS? Think about the NHS and or board values. So the NHS has 6 core values, and they want you to write here that you will be able to demonstrate those values if you're employed. Those values are really important to NHS, so you have to make sure that everything you write is about the NHS values and much more. If you've got friends that are working there, what have they benefited? Have there been career development? Just put all of that here. And then on the third question, is there any other relevant information that will assist us in shortlisting your application? If none, please state. I will always advise that If there is anything you could not write on this one because it has a maximum of 500 words, put it down here. Anything that you know would make you stand out on your application, please just put it here. If you couldn't put it on the other one, write it down here. Don't leave this. I wouldn't advise you to leave it blank. So I will just fill all of this because I won't be able to read everything I've written out for you, because that would be me doing the application for you. So you do your own. I'll fill everything and then I'll see you on the other side. That's all done. Save and continue. Then you come here, there is equal opportunities for interview or interview guarantee. Then you read all of this, you know what they're talking about. And do you have a disability, or do you want to participate in a disability guarantee scheme? Yes or no, if you're disabled. And then they'll ask you requirement for interview. They'll ask you requirements for interview, and then equal opportunities. Are you currently an employer of the NHS board and will getting this job be a promotion? Please select yes or no depending on if you work with the NHS and this job is a step higher for you, or if you don't work with the NHS, you can just leave it blank or prefer not to say. Then what is your sex, male, female, or prefer not to say? It's up to you. Do you consider yourself to be trans, or do you have a trans history? You're talking about transgender. You click yes or no or prefer not to say. And then you come to your age range. You click your age range, date of birth, and then they ask you if you have any physical or mental health conditions. You just go from there. You click here, whatever it is. Just the form is pretty straightforward. What is your nationality? What is your ethnic group? What other religion your religion? Which religion? Go there. Your sexual orientation, all of them are here, or prefer not to say. Whatever you don't want to declare is up to you, but I would just say you do you. Then what is your marital or civil partnership status? You select here. Are you an armed force? It's not like asterisk, so you can leave the ones that are not asterisk. If you can, please do. And then have you ever been in care? Have you ever been in care? Here it says it means you are or were formerly looked after by local authorities. So if you've ever been in care, say in the care of social services or anything like that, you're having support from social services, please, you have to declare it here. And then with this other thing, go through this one. They want to know the main income of your household. And if you don't know, just click other and continue. Then here you declare your criminal convictions. If you've been convicted before, you have to declare it here. And then you also declare that you fully completed this form and the details supplied here to the best of your knowledge, true and complete. When that is done, click on yes, I agree, and voila, submit your application. And then they'll tell you thank you for submitting your application. Now you can come to candidate home and see all the jobs you've applied for, or just go to browse other vacancies. I would say don't only apply for one, apply for as many as possible. Just you can't say if the one you applied for it's the right one, or if they will take you. Sometimes they just need one person for a specific post. So to increase your chances, apply for as many as you can see on the screen. Nobody is going to shout at you for doing that. So, and that is it for now. I will send you back to Evelyn on the camera. Now you've successfully submitted your application, right? And I hope you did input your active email. Don't use an email that you don't even go through it in a month. You have to put in an email that you are actively using and constantly checking. So they will send you a message if you've an email. Sorry, they'll send you an email if you were successful at that stage or not. If you're successful, they will invite you to the next stage, which is the interview process. If you did not succeed, they will tell you, unfortunately, you did not succeed at this time and you try again. So don't get discouraged. Some people apply a couple of times before they even get it. So don't get discouraged. But if they do invite you for interview can be in person. Like if you're in the UK, especially, it is mostly in person for most of the ones that I've seen people attend. But if you're outside the country, it's likely going to be via Teams or Zoom. So make sure you've got Zoom and MS Teams on your phone installed. Depending on what you're going for, I've not been to an interview for a nurse, but for healthcare assistant, most of the interview they have 9 questions or 6 questions to ask you. Now, these questions, when they ask you a question, please do not just give a one-liner answer, right? Make sure you explain. It can consist of, say, a scenario question, can be your general character. They will want to test you if you're a team player, if you're somebody that you're employable, and then they'll test you if you have at least fair knowledge of what to do in certain situations, which is what I call the scenario questions. They'll test you on other aspects as well. I think there are about 3 they will test you on. So when they ask you a question, please make sure you elaborate on it. Demonstrate that you're able to do it. For instance, now they ask you, if you see a patient on the floor, what will you do? Don't just say you will shout for help and leave it there. No, what is the first step to do? Yes, you will call for help, but you also have to check if there are anything in the surrounding that is going to harm the patient. You're also going to make sure you don't touch the patient. When a patient falls, you don't lift them up because you can cause more harm. So research, prepare for the interview like you're preparing for any other interview. Don't think, oh, because it's NHS, it's just, especially for a care assistant, you think, well, there are going to be simple questions. There are so many other people that are going to be on that interview list that day. So you have to do well to surpass those ones, because they give you points. As you're answering, they're giving you points, they're scoring you. If you have a score less than the other person, they wouldn't say because you smile to the interview, they'll take you. They'll take the one that has 1 point more than you. Make sure you read up, research what are the common questions that are likely going to ask you, but there must be a scenario question. There are thousands of scenario questions they can ask you on NHS. I cannot put all of them in this video because it's going to be too long. However, another tip I'll give to you is that if you're going for your interview, please smile. I know that we are all nervous. There's nobody that is not nervous for an interview. Walk in there with a smile. Walk in there like you're the boss. Of course, you're not the boss, but walk in there with confidence, even when you're very nervous. Smile, greet them, ask them how are they doing. If they offer you a cup of water, drink. They are nice. They are so nice. They would make you feel so comfortable, and you'll be wondering, why was I even nervous in the first place? You're not going there to see people that are there to flog you, or their faces looking squeezed and making you feel intimidated. Nah. If there is anything I love about the interviewers, is that they are so friendly and they try to keep you as comfortable as possible. So please take the nerves if you want, but drop them by the door, else you're going to mess up the entire interview. And when the people are not even judging you or anything like that, if you don't make it, you come back again, but you will make it. Okay, now the process itself takes months. So you will have to be patient from when you apply to when you're invited for interview to when you finally get the job. It is a very, 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 very long process. Except you're already working within that NHS board and you get a job, then it's a simpler process. But if you're starting afresh and you're getting a job for the first time there, it is a very, very, very long. It can take months or weeks. So be patient. If you've gotten that invite for interview, or they've told you you'll be successful, please just be patient. It's gonna come. Now, the period between your interview and when they'll tell you you'll be successful, usually for the ones I've been to, is 1 day. So, or sometimes they can even call you that evening to say if you made it or you didn't make it. Some will call you the next day to say, oh, I'm sorry, we can't proceed. Oh, congratulations, you made it. We're happy to have you in the team. Something like that. And the next stage is going to be PVG. They will call Protecting Vulnerable Group. So it's like a background check or police check somehow. They will do the background check in Scotland here for you. In England, I think it's, I don't know, I'm not sure, DBS, but I'm talking about Scotland. So it's PVG. You go through the check. They check your criminal record, if you've done anything, if maybe they've sacked you from your previous place of work because you either did something to a patient or you did something very, 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 very bad, all those ones are going to appear on your PVG. So now when you're living here, you have to be conscious of yourself wherever you're working. Make sure that you're doing the right thing. If you're not sure of what you're doing, ask questions, because if your details go on PVG that you have a bad PVG record, I don't think anybody is going to employ you. So in order not to digress, after PVG, if it comes back good for international applicants, if you haven't been in the country for up to 5 years, they would require police check from your country. So you would have to follow the process for your specific country. In Nigeria, there is a website I think you go to, fill in your form, make the payment, put in your fingerprint and the rest of it, and then you get your police reports or police clearance and submit. You need a passport. You submit your passport. If you're in the UK, you give them your proof of right to work. If you're not in the UK, it follows another pattern. All right. So I can only say for the ones from here. So if you're a nurse and you're waiting skilled worker visa application, it follows a different pattern. They'll tell you what to do at every stage of the employment. All right. Another thing is, once you're accepted, the COS can take a couple of weeks. Initially, it wasn't like that. They will give you certificate of sponsorship almost immediately or before you even commence. But now things have changed. You might have to wait for some time, or you even commence employment before you are given certificate of sponsorship. So if your visa is about to expire, they might facilitate the whole process to make it faster. But I would always advise, many, many months or even years before your visa is about to expire, please start applying on time. Because it doesn't mean that because you applied and you're living in the UK, they're going to take you. No, they have certain criteria they are looking out for. And sometimes it's just one person they are looking for. And they will always prioritize certain people above others. Some common mistakes to avoid. Number one, please check eligibility for sponsorship before you apply. Like I mentioned, some jobs you get from 36, 35 hours upwards. However, it also doesn't mean they would sponsor you. There is no guarantee. But usually, any job from 35 hours and above is eligible for sponsorship. If they stated there clearly that we do not offer sponsorship for this job, please avoid it if you're looking out for sponsorship. If they don't and you're not sure, there is always an informal contact on the job listing. There is an email or a phone number. Call those people or persons, email them and ask all the questions that you need to ask. They will get back to you. Another common mistake is not tailoring your CV to match the NHS job description. Please avoid it. Another mistake is not checking eligibility for that job before applying. If the job says we need a driving license and you don't have it, they won't take you. So please don't apply for jobs that you know that you are not qualified for. Now that you've seen how easy it is to apply, please start applying immediately and take that first step towards your stay in the UK and 5 years visa sponsorship. If you found this video helpful, please click like, subscribe, and share with others who might need it as well. Let me know if you've got any questions in the comment, and until next time, I'll see you. Bye.